Hello and welcome to McLaren stream highlights. You can find the full stream in the description if you want to see it all, and I hope you enjoy. The goal here is very simple and straightforward. We're going to be trying to get as high as we can in one season, hopefully become champions. The first thing we'll do, I think, is see what we can do with the money we have. We have 25 million. We are going to need to get facilities up and running. And with that, McLaren actually has decent facilities. They have everything at level 2, which puts you into a pretty good position. And you have 2 projects, 10 engineers. Upgrading will give you an extra project, which is what we want to do. But I believe they're also in an interesting position in terms of staff. We have not very good technical chief or aerodynamics chief, really. They're average, really. But on the other hand, they have very short contracts, so we can easily swap them out without having to pay too much money. And I believe also that some of the better technical chief, like as you can see, Avaka is interested. We could try and get him. It's going to cost us a lot of money, but it's doable. We also have Tondi here, who is the best aerodynamics guy in the game. He's also available, and we're actually going to start this by trying to get him into our team. Now, we actually did hire him in another game, so I don't know what he wants. Around, I think he would need 4.5 to 5 million. Let us start with 4.5. It's also going to cost some to break the contract here. That is for Michel Kuma, and we're also going to have to do a buyout fee for Tondi, but he's just so good that I think that is probably worth it. We'll also chuck in a starting fee here, or starting bonus, more like it, for 250,000, I think. That should do the trick. And we'll offer him this contract, see what he thinks. None of those he was happy with, so that's a good start though. Salary isn't high enough. Again, this should have been 5. That's just me being silly. Let's see how he feels about 5 million. And again, if we have to pay a lot of money for him, I'm actually prepared to do so. He's just that much of an upgrade, really. Hello to everyone in chat. Glad to see you can make it. We're getting closer. 5 million is something he's acceptable with, so if we can just figure out a starting bonus that he would take now, that is what we could do. We do have medium, so we have 2 more chances. Let's push this up to 600,000. If that is enough to push him over the edge here. And that is, we can hire him for about 5 million, which honestly is a steal for the best aerodynamics guy in the game. And it might be a bit early, really, to try and hire him, but as you can see from the performance here, he has very good stats, so it's a really good start for us in that regard. Now, I think we're going to keep, in terms of our drivers, we're going to not bother with the race engineers. They're fine, really. Technical chief hit, we are going to switch him out too. But he's actually a little bit less of a focus because the earlier parts are just going to be designed with intents in mind. They will not be finalized parts, but they will still be nice to have on the car. We also do, as I said, want to get the design center up 1 level, and we're also going to have to spend money on designing those 2 projects that we have, which will be the underfloor and the front wing, and both will of course be intense. So we don't actually have money right now to get Vaka, but we can go ahead and scout him so that we know what he wants, because once we get to a point where we actually start making competitive parts, we're going to do a lot of rush things. Hello. We will probably pick him up as well to maximize the car performance. So with that said, let us start with designing some parts. We're going to go with an underfloor here, and we're going to put in all CFD and mile hours. It's just because it gives an extra expertise. We're going to be switching this part out in the future, but even so, it's worth it just because the extra expertise gain, and because your underfloor is just that much. This gives you that much value for time put into it, if you will. Intense. Put 6 engineers on this, I think. That should be okay. 4,050,000. That's what we usually see. And then we just do the same here with the front wing. Going to put everything to the maximum except for brake cooling. And we're going to put 4 engineers, put it on intense, and get it cooking. So with that, we only have 2 million left, which is not enough to hire Vaka. And also, in terms of drivers, Ricciardo here only has a year left on his contract. Well, technically 2. I believe it runs out next year. Yeah, runs out next year. So he has 2 seasons left on his contract. Now, it's going to cost a lot of money to break that contract. And for Norris too, he has an even longer contract with an even higher break cost. So I think we're going to keep both our drivers. They aren't too bad. Ricciardo is decently all around. Could have a little bit more pace stats. And Norris too has decent pace. Needs a bit more in reactions, but on that he has actually fairly good stats. So getting Piastri could be an option, as said. But I think we're going to keep the ones we have. Let us continue. I think we actually done everything we want to do here in the beginning. Welcome to the team. We got our staff fixed. We got our drivers okay. We got the parts manufactured. Let's continue. So car development key staff. We have Tondi here already being put in. We will switch out Watkins in the future, but for now it's okay. And obligations with our sponsors. Do we have anything interesting here? Oh wow. This is interesting. No... This is actually good. There's no punishment for our driver's experience. They'll actually have a benefit there. Season kickoff party, we will approve. Let's get into our first race. Qualifying position 12th. I don't know how the cars are, honestly. So for now we'll not take any performance targets. It's a bit too much. No real need to change anything to practice setup. We're going to use everything until we get practice engines, so for this it's okay. Now most teams do start with an extra suspension here. We do too, but as you can see, it's barely an upgrade. It's basically the effect of scratching your car. So we're going to give it to Ricciardo. It's still a small upgrade, but it's not a huge one, so we will not be manufacturing more of that if it becomes damaged. But yeah, let's get into qualifying. Hopefully we can do well here. I guess we are going to burn... Should we gamble on getting onto into Q3 on the mediums? Sorry, Q2 on the mediums? We could.
Radio check. Okay.
Let's do the way I enjoy to do it, which is to send both cars out early for their first run. Just try and get one in there. Now in Bahrain, you'll usually end up getting blocked a bit. But I think we should be good. Leclerc might be a bit of a nuisance here. Ah, he messed up Norris, but that's fine. Well, Norris was actually quicker than Ricciardo, so it didn't really mess him up. We're being the nuisance now. Yeah, that's a good one. Let us reconfigure for the next run.
Track should be green.
We'll be running the first set here on scrub softs to save the softs. Let's get our cars out here too for that first run. Doesn't look too great here to begin with, but then again we're running scrub softs, so we have a better time to run towards the end. Just need to make sure I actually get the cars out in time here. A bit challenging for me. Sadly, we bombed out in Q2. But then again, kind of what you'd expect here. Could probably have done better. It's my bad, really. But yeah, let's get into the race. So, what will we know from practice here? The performance here on the different compounds is kind of wild. Almost a second between them. The degradation is quite high as well. So what do we want to do here in terms of a strategy? Starting on softs could probably work. Soft, medium, soft. That is bold. Let's just say it like that. This could work. This could work. I guess we'd try split strategies here, maybe. This should work. We're gonna go hard here with Norris, and we're gonna go a bit safer with Ricciardo, but I think we'll give this a go. Looks good.
It's lights out, and away we go.
Forgot to put him on overtake. Let's just fix that quick.
Okay, understood.
And Norris here is the one that's going to be running the more aggressive strategy, but basically everyone's running the same one here. Softs are king. That's a bit too much room they're given, I feel. Speed things a little bit more up here. We don't really have too much going on, honestly. DRS has been enabled.
DRS enabled.
We could probably challenge Ocon and, yeah, Magnussen.
Gone wide there.
Norris gets both the second I think about it. Can he, if we give him a little bit more fuel here to use? Maybe get up into a position where he can keep up with Gasly. Norris did fall a bit behind here, so getting points? Oh, never mind. Speak of the devil in shall appear, show ran wide.
That's a lock-up. Here's the
Or locked
replay.
up.
Let's take another look. There we have Joe. And this, yes, there. That's the lock-up.
Now, we actually have the 8th worst car to start off with, in theory. So we should actually be down here. So this is a decent start, all things considered.
Okay, I had a lockout. Copy.
Seems like you have touched Magnussen, because Magnussen has 1% left on his car. Ricciardo. That's a paddling. Let's get you onto the hards. We might have to just stretch them. Let's get that set up. Did you take any other damage, or did you just wreck your wing? Just the wing. I didn't... well, at least get all the crashes out right now. That would be good. That would be good. Let's see how what actually happened here. So Magnussen is straight out. We have a safety car. I'm thinking we switch Norris' strategy here then. Get him on the hard as well. I think it's just better. They are slower per lap, but if we... unless we want to do 3 pit stops, I think it's the best choice. And...
It's a collision.
let's see what happened.
Look at the replay. Now look at this. Daniel Ricciardo involved there.
Okay.
And that's a big smash. They'll
That should probably be a penalty. Yep. So now that it's opted for not pitting. Okay. What is this shenanigans? Leclerc, you're not in the pit. I hope this is a visual bug. What's going on? Is this a... yeah, red flag situation, of course. Session suspended. Okay.
Red flag.
I assume that is because they... yeah, Ferrari strategy, for sure. Oh, that was a bit confusing. 10 minutes until restart. So this is already a spicy start here. We have Ricciardo taking out Magnussen. We have Norris potentially in the points. And we have red flag within... because of some shenanigans there at the end of the pit lane. So, honestly, I wish I could get up to the strategy view here. That would help us, you know, plan things a little bit better. I think we just stick with what we have here. We stick with the hards. And that should be okay. We're going to do the same for Norris here. Just stick with the hards. And we'll have to see what the rest of the field does here. I think that should be okay.
It's time to pick up where we left off.
I see some yellows.
Restart.
We might have made a poor choice here, being the only hard runner.
And it's lights out.
Now,
And away
because of
we
the red
go.
flag, we actually lose a couple of laps worth of race time, which means that we now have extra fuel to use. Sadly, we do not get to charge our ERSs, but even with the slower hards, we can still try and make a move. Maybe played it a bit too safe, honestly. There's some other runners here on the hards, basically back markers.
Nicely done, nicely done.
We'll have to see if Norris can even gain or hold on to his current position. That corner does not like him, does it? Well, as long as we can keep fighting to some degree Hamilton here, we'll at least maintain the DRS distance. I can live with that.
DRS enabled.
DRS has been enabled too. Good. I think we're currently holding everyone up though, so yeah, we aren't in the DRS range of anyone else. We don't really want to try and overtake Hamilton anymore. Ricciardo here has also made it up to 12th. Really good. And he's currently in charge of his own little DRS train here, so we're holding up the Mercedeses. I don't think that will work really, as you can see. Go around wide. We didn't actually get the penalty fix though, so
We've had a spin.
that's gonna suck once we finally pit for him. But if we have Norris here just wedged between the Mercedeses and can actually keep up, that would actually be amazing. Because they should be able to catch up to at least the AlphaTauris and the Alpines. Honestly, as long as we're in the close to points there, I'd be happy with this first race. I didn't think we'd be even close to competitive before we got the underfloor. We are getting closer to the pit stop. We're actually going to get Norris in this lap, I think. And they're sadly close to each other, so we're going to have to do them one at a time. Get Norris in this lap, have him go full attack. And we're going to do the same for Ricciardo now. He can just go full attack this final lap here with these tires. Get him onto the medium on the next one. And I'm going to have to pause here because I need to turn Norris down a bit, that he doesn't completely destroy his tires immediately. I need to do the same with Ricciardo, although he has been burning a bit longer. Now we're up in 10th, which is good. Ricciardo is fighting both Alpines, and we have a little gap into Schumacher. We are running, though, in push fuel, though, so we might run out. Now, we're actually going to fight Schumacher here, and Russell. There's 6 laps to go. Did Russell just pit for softs? He did. He pitted for old softs. Okay. This could actually be interesting end to this this race here. We have potential of getting both our cars in the points. But we have a Mercedes coming at us here. And Schumacher actually pitted. Is the softs that much quicker? Is that reality here? Oh yeah, it looks like it. 3 laps to go. We could have one car here just focus on holding up the rest. Or we could just have them DRS each other along like they are doing now. That works too.
Seems to have been a lockup.
I'd say this is so far a pretty good race. Pretty good start altogether. Not the best qualifying I've ever done, but we kind of made up for it here during the race. Provided they don't crash into each other right now. That was a bit concerning there for a second. But yeah, I'm happy with this. 10th and 11th. A good start to the season. And yeah, a good race here to start off with, I'd say. 10th and 11th. We get 1 point on the board. And that propels us up into... Well, where does it propel us to? Let's have a look at the other teams before we run through here. Ferrari 1-2. Kind of what you'd expect, really, at this stage of the game. This, though, is not what you'd expect. Ocon in 4th. That's a bit impressive from them. Red Bull 3-5, Alfa Romeo 6th. Honestly, I'd expect Valtteri up in 5th, but can't always get what you want. Alonso beating Russell, Hamilton beating Alonso. Already, we have some weird stuff going on here. Driver Championship should be straightforward. We're actually up into 6th. We're rising. But yeah, Alpine 3rd here. And I think this could be a really fun season. Mercedes 5th. Development-wise, could probably have done more here for Ricciardo, but it is what it is. Lando Norris has okay growth potential, so we should be able to get some pace points in there during the next couple of races. We'll have to see what we do with Ricciardo. We're going to keep him at least for this season, I think, and then maybe get Piastri. What we could do is, of course, get Piastri as a reserve driver for this season, and then see it from there. But I don't know who is our current reserve driver. Let's have a quick look here. We have Van Dorn here, and he actually runs out in 9 months' time. It would just be 277. We could honestly just pick up Piastri as a bargain here. I believe he's 75 to start out with. There he is. He's actually not interested. So close to season start end. Okay, did he get a new contract? I don't know. We'll have to have a look at it later in the season. But yeah, Bahrain, we exceeded expectations. Really good. Now, we qualified 13th and 14th, I think, or 14th and 15th. We made it into Q2 at least. So I think we'll gamble by just playing safe for now, for the first couple of races here, until we know where we actually stand. 1 driver in Q2 should be doable. Finish position, 1 driver in top 15 should also be doable. Again, I'm playing it a bit careful, but that's just how things are. Top 15, 1 driver, 5 races should also be fairly doable. And with that, let's continue to Saudi Arabia.
Radio check. Yep, radio is good. Drink's good. Sessions should be starting now.
Try and get a quick run here, before everyone else does. Fairly close there in terms of time. Just play it safe here, we'll send them out at 2:15. Should be okay. Just barely made it here for both of them. Let's see if they can improve, or if they get overtaken by the other cars here. We improved a bit. We're going to start on scrub softs here. The first run. 13th and 14th is kind of what we expect, honestly. But we'll see here if we maybe can sneak into Q3 by luck. I doubt it, but anything is possible. I feel like they sent their cars out a bit too soon here, so now we can actually ruin Leclerc. Which is actually an evil thing to do, but I did it. But Leclerc will now ruin us, so it's all fair a little more, really. I didn't consider this. I screwed over myself to screw over Leclerc. Yeah, I did a bad one. Let's have a quick look here on what we expect the compound to perform like. 3.5 tenths quicker. Degradation wise, they're fairly equal, all of them. Now, we were on compound performance, so we're going to go back to it. Again, 4.5 tenths quicker, basically. To start with, we have 3 tenths quicker here. Degradation wise, I think, honestly, they're all fairly equal. In terms of total performance, we'd probably start on the softs here, because both our drivers have a spare set of softs. So we could do... This one should actually be fairly good, although a hard to directly to a medium. That seems a bit wild. It's supposedly 1.5 minutes quicker. But then again, I know that the hard estimations are kind of, you know, not to be trusted right now. So I don't think I'll put my trust in this one. If we check the if we go here and have a look at the hards, it's supposedly 110 seconds quicker in terms of lap time. So you do the lap in 40 well, you'd have a 0-second lap time. So I don't think we'll trust that hard one, honestly. The hard is 7/10 slower to begin with. It can probably gain towards the end, but again, 10-20 laps in, you're gonna get in trouble. We could try and just split the strategy here. We have Ricciardo ahead of Norris, so I'm thinking that we could gamble this on Norris, honestly. Do something like this too, so he has a little bit more. But I don't know if it's actually a viable one. Yeah, I'm thinking we try this, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We're still in a car that only fights for 1 point, so it could be fun to just split the strategies to see how things go, really. Let's give it a go.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
I gave Norris a chance here on the one stop. He is on the hards, and there's actually a lot of people doing the one stop here on the hards, and that is a squeeze and a half for Tsunoda and now Ricciardo. Running 3 wide is gonna most likely cause accidents, but both the drivers got up a position. We can be happy with that. And honestly, there's only 2 other soft runners, so this could be interesting. We'll have to see if Norris can make that one stop actually work. Yeah, that is true. There's usually safety cars around here. There we go, the safety car is there already. Latifi and Stroll has had an altercation. I don't think we're going to do anything with the safety car. We're just going to save tires, really. We could just run conserve. We're so close anyways that we can just do it already. And of course, harvest. See what actually happened here.
Let's have a look. Now we see the Williams here.
Ooh. That's bowling. Someone learned from Bottas. Yeah, I can see Latifi out there. That makes sense. That was not a that was not what I'd classify as a soft hit. This does make the Norris one stop more viable, though. He saves a lot of tire life.
I expect the safety car will come in at the end of the next lap. Understood.
Let's just get ready to do some work.
Use the pace now.
Okay, understood.
This is something that I missed on the Williams save. Now we actually have proper driver Wow, we actually used everything that quickly. Now we actually have proper driver radio. Ricciardo 11th, Norris 13th. I'd say this is a decent start for us. We can actually just go ahead now and go aggressive. We're going to push these down a bit.
DRS is enabled.
See if we maybe can make something work. I don't know why I'm on the tire screen. And can we chase down here the car in front? Probably not, but they're already pitting. So let's have him go attack here. We're going to allow him to use extra fuel. And we're going to be pitting him on the next lap here. And hopefully we can undercut someone. We're pushing a bit here with Ricciardo because I'm hoping to undercut the cars in front. And so far, it might actually seem like it will work. I'll have to see once the rest of the field starts pitting. Apparently we are looking good though. We have Norris up here in 11th. This one-stop strategy could work, honestly. I think most of the other teams are actually doing the same thing. So what we could do now is try and be a bit cheeky. Go a bit more aggressive on these tires. Oh, never mind. No cheekiness here. So we just cleared the pits for both our cars. We can't really pit Ricciardo, but we can pit Norris. It's a bit early, but we can save those mediums. So let's get him in. Magnussen has crashed on turn 1.
Now just focus on the hats. Clearly something went.
He got stapled to the wall. Do we want to do anything with Ricciardo here? Again, I think we just want to keep him out. There's no... Even if we pit him, it won't really matter too much. It's gonna have to pit twice anyways. We are pitting for softs now for Norris, but... Can we actually make those softs last? Now that I think about it. What? Sorry, not softs, mediums. How is the expected lifetime of these mediums? It's doable. And it would just be 3 seconds slower. It's doable, but we would have to save a little bit of tire life. I think we gamble. We get both our drivers in on the mediums right now. They have the gap to do it, and even for Ricciardo, we should come out by Stroll. All these hard runners will have to pit fairly soon. And this is one of the weaknesses with the AI. They will not pit within 2 or 3 laps difference, which is actually kind of bad. So Norris kept his position. Ricciardo lost, I believe, 2. So I'd say it's still a good one. Don't get me wrong. And we'll go harvest. Yeah, is it safe to go harvest? Unless safety car comes in this lap, we should be good. Yeah, we're good for going harvest. So we'll try and save these mediums when we can, probably doing safety cars, and we'll run them on...
Safety car in this lap. Safety car will be in this lap.
We'll run them on standard and nothing more, really. I'm
Understood.
thinking we just run neutral. It would be interesting to push really hard. But currently we are actually in a good position here because of the cars that we see in front of Ricciardo here. Tsunoda will have to pit. But in front of Norris, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars needing to pit. And potentially there is some advantage here that we could take. So we're going to gamble. Again, I don't think we need to force our way up the field right now. We just need to maintain. And that is what we will do. See if we have a good restart here.
And McLaren with a great overtake.
Yeah, they're already making moves here. All these fresh softs. Some mediums. I don't know why I'm calling them softs.
McLaren gain a position.
There we have DRS. And 18 laps to go. Should be able to make these mediums last. Just barely, as you can see. So, I have a good feeling. There we go. First set of pit stops. Norris is now up into 7th position. And he's Hamilton pitting, Verstappen pitting, Joe pitting. Sorry, Verstappen did not pit. Now, everyone is pitted in front of Norris and Ricciardo will, but we also have Ocon behind who needs to pit. So, we might have a pretty good chance here, thanks to the safety car. The main concern here now is that I'm silly and run out of fuel, so let's just run it balanced for now. We do have Hamilton and Russell coming up from behind. They aren't that far back. I would assume that they're gaining at least 2 seconds a lap, maybe more. A 10th there, and they aren't gaining as much as I thought. So potentially here, this could work. We don't really have, again, the tire life to push towards the end. But running defense should work. Right now, they are DRSing off each other, which is helping their times. So, this could be a very interesting last 8 laps here. Yeah, this is looking good. Especially also since Gasly is actually holding them up for us. The only thing here that can ruin our fun is really them crashing into each other, which, with my luck, is fairly likely. So, pray for me, I guess. 2 laps to go. 2 seconds down to Hamilton. This could get really tight here towards the last couple of laps. And we're about to start final lap, and Hamilton has caught up with us, so... Push, attack, push. We're gonna deploy, or defend with Ricciardo, and we're gonna deploy with Norris. We're just gonna gamble here on being able to at least take 4th. We're kind of sacrificing Ricciardo with that in mind, though. Which probably isn't what we want to do, but I'm just doing it to secure 4th. Might also be burning a bit too much tire here, really. So let's tune that down a slight amount. Two turns left to go. See if we can maintain. Oh, yeah. So Hamilton got one of us. But I'd say still, this is a very good result for McLaren. It really sets us up for that potentially of, you know, being the upset towards the end of the season. I'd say this is a really big result for us. We scored 20 points here when we're expected to maybe fight for 1 or 2. 4th and 6th place. So, was it the right move with Ricciardo at the end? Maybe not, but it paid off for Norris. So, I say I'm happy with this, honestly. You don't expect us to do this with no upgrades. As a driver championship, this moves Norris up to 5th, Ricciardo up to 9th. And Ferrari is kind of settling in here with 1 and 3rd. We might have ruined Red Bull a bit here because Perez is down in 9th. Alonso doing good, which is what we like to see. And Bottas sadly down in 10th. But yeah, massive result for us. And with this, we are now up into 4th position. That's huge. Now, honestly, we did get in trouble with this result because we're going to have to pay 2 million extra for the finish positions. which hurts a bit. But we made money, 2.7 million. I can live with that. We got points. But this might mess up the future strategy, if you will. We also got a development point. Go straight into reactions for Norris. And let's do a couple of days here, and then we'll see if we can pick up Piastri. Let's stop it here. Let's see if we can pick up Piastri. Let's propose a contract here, and we'll do the reserve one. Give him 5 seasons. Give him the 450,000 we usually do. That should be enough. And just because I'm kind, we'll give him the money to start off with here. He is just the best. He's the best guy to put there, but you could also put in Pocher. There we go. We have Piastri now where he belongs. And his growth potential is just high. Because telling me without going to race would be rude. And with that now, since we have Piastri, we can just continue to the... Vaca has been finished scouting here. It would cost 4.7 million to pick him up. And 3.5 million probably in wages. So we will pick this man up later. He's just the best option. He also has rather high underfloor and revving for his average, which makes him good. And the thing is, we don't need to pick him up right now. We're going to need him when we make the final iteration of the underfloor and the wings. But before that, he can just stay in Red Bull. It should be perfectly fine with us. We could check some of the other stuff here. Honestly, I'm tempted to check out Resta. Purely because... actually can't do it. Resta is a free agent, I believe now, in the Aston Martin save. And I'd like to see his stats. Performance targets, do we want to gamble? Q2 should be doable for one drive at least. Probably both, honestly. So let's go all in. Finish position, one driver top. Both drivers top 15. We're probably going to have an accident here. And with that, we'll go to Australia. 95, 97. Again, as soon as you reach 95, you should be happy, because that means you'll get the full bonuses guaranteed, I believe. We're currently at 14 out of 15. And the last one is actually just in track acclimatization here, I'm pretty sure. 98, 96, can live with that. Both of them gaining, I believe, maximum bonus there. Went a little bit too quick. Let's go ahead and start qualifying in Australia. Okay, so sending them out earlier is gonna backfire horribly by the looks of things. We need to make this past 5-6 drivers. So Norris is 8/10 off Ricciardo. How far off is Ricciardo the other times is the big question here. Not that far off, honestly. Norris is in danger, of course, but Ricciardo looks okay. Need to refuel, I know. That's the point of a qualifying run. So Ricciardo improved. Did Norris? He improved more. Good. We make it into Q2 with both our drivers. We make a little bit extra money. Confidence is good. Can I should tweak this before qualifying if I wanted to. I don't know why I went into that. We're gonna do the first stint again on the scrub ones, just so we can save some soft run time. Let's get on into it.
It's just a radio check.
Oh, Norris has spun out and ruined. Has he ruined a Ferrari, or is that just so far away that I don't see a front wing? That looks like the Ferrari front wing over there. You also lost a front wing and completely wrecked these softs even more than they were. Okay, so we assassinated Leclerc, I guess. Did we though? Or is that our front wing? Well, we lost half of ours, as you can see. Let's just call Norris in as soon as possible. Although it should be fairly straightforward. So we have received a penalty for this, so Norris will probably start a bit further down, which could result in us using him for a tow. Time penalty, 0 seconds. Okay. Is that just going to keep on going now to the end? Let's let everyone go first. And... yes, we can go now. It's still a bit risky. There's just so much of a gap there that we might get blocked here by, say, Alonso. He'll overtake Norris at least. But Ricciardo should be okay. Maybe. I think Norris got like 4 0-second penalties there. Ricciardo might have actually made it into Q... He actually did. Made it into Q3. That's really good. Driver eliminated. We'll have to see if he gets any penalties. He did. So, grid penalty. I think it's 3 places. He'll start 16th then. So, that sucks. But Ricciardo's up there. Potentially 8. So, we'll do the same that we did here. Gonna use the scrub soft to do the first run. That'll be our plan.
Daniel, I didn't hear your radio check.
They all go out at the same time now. Is that what I'm seeing?
Okay.
Basically, 3. Well, at least we'll have a clean run. Ricciardo's a bit too slow there. Oh, we're close.
The session has now
500s. I still say it's a good job getting into Q3 though for Ricciardo. Let's see how harshly Norris gets punished.
The time has come.
Yeah, 16th. Kind of what we expected. Liam Lawson, we can have a look at him. Ricciardo used all his softs, so going something like this should be doable. But yeah, as you can see, the hards now are just currently completely bugged, I think. There's no other way to look at it. We could do a one-stop here for Ricciardo. It's going to be a bit of a stretch. Sorry. But let's have a quick look here. Safety car? About 50% chance, really. In terms of performance, the soft is a lot better than anything else, but it just degrades so quickly. Twice as fast as the mediums, so starting back and trying to do a quick run on softs could work. But I think we're going to do one-stops probably for both our drivers. Maybe a two-stopper for Ricciardo on his home race. Norris one-stop, try and have him start further back. Go aggressive with Ricciardo maybe. I think we split the strategies, and that way we can try and see which one works.
The Australian Grand Prix.
I need to get a mute button for when I do those uncontrollable coughs.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
Got to set overtake, which is a shame. Now, we're starting 10th in terms of other drivers here. Everyone is on the medium, except for a couple of others. Ricciardo losing position sadly at the beginning. Can maybe get them here at the turn 1. To get one back at least.
Let's get back in the rhythm now.
3 hard runners to start with. We'll have to see how that plays out for them. But not the greatest start, but not the worst either. We should be able to come back from this.
McLaren are flying now.
Norris is also making his way up the field, which is good to see.
And McLaren with a great overtake.
And here we have another one coming. Gonna have to do a bit of harvesting. Now, if we push, can we keep up with the cars in front? Potentially.
Gain a position.
We also do have something to play with here in terms of the rest. So let's just do this for Ricciardo. We're going to gamble on him being able to catch up to Ocon. That's going to be the goal.
Need to push.
Understood.
See if we can get him in DRS range here, but he is losing time. That is probably not going to happen. Yeah, it doesn't seem viable. Let's go back to balance. Standard. Gonna harvest a bit here. Science is also back, yes, somehow.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
And we could potentially try and be cheeky here and allow Science to pull us along. But I think he's just too quick for us to actually make that viable. We'll have to see if the others can do that, and then we can just latch on, if you will. We might stretch this purely if Science is, again, going to be able to drag us up to the cars in front. If he can, then we'll delay the pit. The others are pitting now. Let's see if we can do something cheeky. Norris is up in 7th. He is going to go longer, so we can leave him as is. But Ricciardo, we want him to just push everything he has.
Okay, understood.
And we'll get him in this lap onto the hards here. And he actually came out behind Sainz, so sadly a bit too big of a gap there, but we tried. That's the important part. We're also gonna have to run a little bit conserve here because we are losing fuel, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. Norris will probably be the one here with the better strategy, all things considered. He still has Gasly to pull him along. Ricciardo is actually stuck behind Albon right now. I say as he overtakes him. We have a bit more to give here for Norris, so we could go aggressive. But for now, I think we're okay. Main concern is how are the others going to pit? I would assume the hard runners are not going to pit. So this is when if we want to try and make a move, it is now. We're just going to sacrifice all our ERS here on this lap to try and get a little bit of a gap before we pit. And see if we can jump someone, and then by jumping them, getting a better DRS train, but that seems a bit too hopeless there. Was a bit too hopeful. We only have Magnussen in front of us who's going to pit. I don't think the others will have to. So we'll have to see exactly how how this plays out now for Norris, sadly. We are kind of getting left behind at times, so as you can see, we do have less pace than the AlphaTauris, but they're the ones that are currently pulling us along. So DRS train, a bit too powerful, maybe. But now we're big gun left behind it, so Noda is kind of losing out, really. But it would also seem like Gasly lost out there during the back marker. The back marker cross, if you will. And now Norris has a bit of an advantage. Ricciardo is going to have to pit again, which is a concern. But we have a couple of others here who actually are also going to have to pit. Probably Sainz, Bottas, Ocon, really? I thought they'd be able to make tires last, but probably not. So Norris is still in a great position. We are still running him on conserve. That explains a few things. That's me being dumb. I'm sorry. I put it on and forgot to take it off, but the second I do, he's moving upwards. But yeah, I still think we can make something out of it. Ricciardo probably going to struggle to do. We should actually pitted him ages ago. So let's go full attack here, full push. And I guess we're going to delay the pit stop by 1 lap and just see if we can use him to push upwards to... No, it doesn't really work, sadly. We're just going to have to get him in here. So yeah, that's might have actually ruined Norris' race here by having him run conserve for so long. He will not be able to even burn up all that fuel. But on the plus side now, we have plenty to fight with. Oh. Block up with damage the second you pit. Minor damage. I think we'll try and leave him out. Let's see how he does in terms of lap times.
Let's take a closer look. Now look at this. Daniel Ricciardo involved. And that's an off. And a big off.
A slight touch there. Now, did you harm your tires? Oh, you're still on. Well, we can run you aggressive to the end. I'm really just getting completely sideswiped here. Life is good. We're going to have to go conserve there probably for the end, because we use a little bit more than we gain. And in terms of lap times, we're losing out here, but it's 7 laps to go. Even if he loses 3 seconds a lap, hitting him would take longer, if not as long, and he would be out of the points anyways. So we're just going to allow him to run like that, and we'll be focusing on Norris here. Let's see if we can make a move on the cars in front, which Bottas now has put us into contention for 8th if we maybe are able to play our cards correctly here, but it's going to be difficult for sure. We could use some overtake here, try and get ourselves up a bit, and that worked. So let's see now if we can fight for this 1 point. At the start of the first season, Ferrari is the best team by far, so I'd say they're overpowered, yeah, if you play them correctly. And by playing them correctly, you just need to play them as you would any other team, really. There's not much more to it than that. Now, we're actually not on the last lap yet, so we probably want to wait a little bit. But we are kind of falling behind, as you see from Gasly. We have the same tires, though, so it's purely car. That extra kilogram of fuel is also slowing us down a bit, sadly. Did actually make it work, though, so... this has to be final lap. Let's go full on aggressive at least. Let's see if we can maintain this now and get a point. Yeah, we're on final lap. In terms of interval here, we have half a second to go on. We don't have that much. We don't have that much DRS, but I still think that we should be able to keep Gasly potentially behind us here, unless Stroll messes us over. Well, we did it. We scored points in all our races so far. Ferrari 1-4, Red Bull 2-3, Mercedes 5-6. That's more like what we're used to seeing. Alpine 7th and 9th, and Bottas 8th here. With this though, Norris does fall down some places. This isn't the 4th place like last race, sadly. But he has scored points in every single race so far, which is good. And honestly, I can be fairly happy with this. We also have a little bit of competition in between Red Bull and Ferrari, but it's slight. Ferrari has already 40 points to go on. So we'll have to see if this works like it did in real life, or if, you know, Ferrari falls apart. When you start a new game, there is two things that you want to do. I forgot about Piastri. Why did I forget about Piastri? For sure, you have a rival now in the Championship of Forgetfulness. Thank you for watching this stream highlight. Hope you've enjoyed. Please drop a like if you have. And I hope to see you around next time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.